So in this video, we are going to watch a training session or part of the training session with tennis balls. Basically, the tennis ball training is part of the methodology being used at FDP Futsal. As you guys are watching the screen, basically you're watching the players juggling tennis balls. And what has that got to do with development, you say? Well, listen, having eye to hand and eye to foot coordination, reaction, all that good stuff is very important part of development. And actually juggling balls, tennis balls in particular, helps with that. So you can see in this activity, they're just standing still, nice and easy, and basically just juggling the balls. Now they start moving because the trainer is asking them once they start getting the feel of just juggling the balls to start moving. So now you're incorporating movement as well as reaction to juggling the balls. So originally the activity starts with just juggling the ball, getting a little feel for it, eye to ball, eye to hand coordination, nice and easy, and then introducing movement into the activity where now they are also moving their feet, which is very crucial part of development. And in most sports, you'll hear coaches say, move your feet, right? And combining now the movement of the feet as well as the juggling of the ball where you have to react to it. The next one is very simple, just dropping the ball and moving your feet to go after the ball. Just go and catch the ball. Moving your feet to go and catch the ball. As simple as it can be. Now, you may say, well, that's pretty easy, right? I encourage you guys to just drop a couple of tennis balls on the floor and do what they do. Again, this is an activity that can be used for any type, any level, any skill training within the futsal world, the soccer world, any sport, basketball, football. You will see that this type of training is used at a higher level of training organizations. In the evolving world of soccer and futsal training, using innovative methods often separate average development from elite performance development. So, something that may seem pretty simple has a huge effect in development. Um, Once again, why use tennis balls? Well, tennis balls are significantly smaller and lighter than traditional futsal balls. So at first glance, using them might seem, counterproductive, but under the guidance of a skilled coach, they become powerful tools for refining technique, enhancing coordination, and building confidence. Remember, we're not just using tennis balls with our feet, we're using tennis ball with our hands. And as you will see in the later on in the training, players are instructed to use other parts of their body. So next activity, just simple again, sitting down on the floor. And what they're going to do is they're being instructed now to bounce the ball off the ground and quickly get up and get it. As you can see, they were originally holding two balls. So they're not instructed to let go one ball. They're holding one ball while bouncing the other and quickly having to get up and go and get the ball. So they're still holding one ball in their hands, which makes it a little more challenging as opposed to just having one ball to bounce and get up. You have one ball held at, one hand while the other one is being bounced off the floor and quickly getting up. What has that got to do with development? Think about it. Reaction, up and down movement, quickness, agility, eye to tennis ball to hand coordination, all that good stuff. It's all included into this simple but yet very effective way of training. The smaller the ball, the sharper the touch. If a player can control with his hands or by dribbling it with his feet or passing a tennis ball, they will definitely dominate in a futsal court or furthermore, a soccer pitch. So as the activity goes on, players are bouncing it and quickly getting up to go and get the ball. Some of the key benefits to training with tennis ball, as you will see in this video, includes being able to handle a ball under pressure. What is the pressure here? The pressure here is to quickly get up and go and get the ball without having it to bounce away from you multiple times. That's it. The pressure changes as the activity changes using their hands or other parts of their body. Now, the trainer is instructing them, instead of bouncing the ball off the ground, to now throw the ball up in the air, go catch it, and then sit down and repeat. Much different dynamic from bouncing the ball to actually throwing the ball up, keep an eye on the ball, locating the ball at all times, quickly get up and use their body to go and get the ball and maintain that control. So, although, again, we're working on coordination, reaction, eye to hand, eye to tennis ball, the dynamics of bouncing a ball as opposed to throwing in the ball up in the air, it changes. It changes. And again, one of the things that I want to point out, although you'll see in this training, you have most players being anywhere from 9 years old to 11, 12 years old. Okay. These activities are used, but not just this age group. Okay. They're used by older age groups, high school, college, all the way to professional level. Why? Because the dynamics, regardless of what the age is, or regardless of what the skill level is, remain the same. The benefits of this kind of training remain the same. The only thing that changes is how fast a player may be able to become proficient at these activities. One other thing that's continuous, constant, is the fact that the players have fun. The players have fun and they develop these skills without realizing it that they're doing it. Furthermore, every activity that or every training session that you go in most sports become repetitive, especially when you're playing soccer or futsal or basketball. The activities are over and over repeated, and although they have to be repeated, players need to be challenged, and they need to have fun. At every level, players need to have fun in order to become more engaged and develop. Once the activities become stale, they become repetitive, they become boring, players seem to check out and the development rate decreases. The coach always has to fight for their attention. So the next challenge now is they are basically juggling a tennis ball. This is a continuation training session where from a previous training session where now the players are trying to juggle a tennis ball by just doing 2 touches. In a previous training session, they were encouraged to just do 1 touch. Now they're encouraged to do 2 touches. So every week or every training session, the difficulty level slightly increases. We challenging the players to do one better. You start with 1, 2, 3, what have you. Very simple. Again, the dynamic of the training of the activity changes, but the goal, the benefits remains the same. So before they were juggling with their hands, right? So eye to tennis ball, eye to hand coordination. Now you still have that eye to tennis ball coordination, but now you're using your foot. Okay. So as they move forward now, they're being asked to do 1 touch with their foot and a second touch with their thigh. 1 foot, 1 thigh. 1 foot, 1 thigh. Notice how the activity changes. Notice how the activity gives them different parts of their body, different challenges. So it promotes to constantly have the player be engaged. Although, once again, the goals of the session remain the same. Number 1 is to have fun, to have a different activity within the session structure. And of course, to develop reaction, eye to hand, eye to ball, hand to ball, eye to foot, hand to foot, all that. I'm sorry, eye to foot, all that good stuff. So the benefits and the goal stays the same. The dynamics change, and of course, we're trying to make it as fun and as challenging as possible for the players. Don't forget the reaction time in all these activities stay the same. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're touching the ball with their foot. It doesn't matter if they're catching the ball with their hand. It's all about reactive reaction. Reacting to the ball means that they got to move their limbs, they got to move their feet, they got to move their hands. Their brain is focusing and subconsciously thinking and challenging. So it's a great activity for a lot of reasons. All right, not just to have fun, but also to challenge the players. Next, the trainer now is asking the players to just put the ball down, nice and easy, and dribble. Okay, there is no restrictions. They're trying to keep the ball close to their bodies. They're trying to not, run after the ball, but maintain some kind of control. As you can see, some players are doing better than others. Again, the purpose of this training, you have different players of different ages and different, skill level, but they're all working within themselves. In other words, it's a personal development, not a team development. So every player is challenging himself or herself, not everybody else. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. The objective is to be personally challenged and being developed. So once again, they're instructed to have fun with the ball. Here's where now you can become creative. Using the bottom of the foot, they're slowly learning that it becomes a lot easier to control the ball using the ball of their foot as opposed to outside part of the foot or instep. Okay, and these are the things that they're learning. This activity is repeating every session. Moving on, now they're getting into little technical stuff. So they're doing toe taps and boxes. It's a combination of toe taps and boxes. And once again, controlling the ball, feet to ball coordination, reaction, getting better with obviously a small ball will help them as they start working with the bigger futsal balls. Okay. But some of them are doing better than others. All right. To be honest with you, the players that dislike this type of activity are players that have been used to just chasing the ball, working on an outdoor soccer field where control is not really, taught that much. It's more about physicality, kicking the ball, running after the ball, chasing the ball, using their body to check other players and win possession of the ball. But I like to think that in 2025, most serious organizations in America are incorporating control and technical training sessions for their players. I like to think that the old stereotype of American player, where it's all about running after the ball, outrunning players, out mustering players, winning the ball with very little technical ability, those times are coming to an end. And more, if not all, soccer organizations or futsal organizations, they are having technical training as part of the curriculum. So once again, to have that and put it on a futsal court, in this particular case using tennis balls, which is a lot more difficult. As you can see now, they're doing a different activity: pull back and touching the ball with the inside part of their foot, pull back and touching the inside part. Just little activities. All these things will help them accelerate massively the development. And when they go out to the soccer pitch to touch a much bigger soccer ball, now it becomes a lot easier. The futsal surface is a lot slicker, a lot faster. The tennis ball is a lot smaller. Okay. And when they go out to a soccer pitch where the ball is a lot bigger, the turf or the grass fields are much slower. They're not as slick. That will be a much easier task than what they're doing here. So this is what basically, you know, this is all about. It's not a trick. It's not, the next best thing. It's been around forever. Other countries use this methodology all the time. And it's not just used for soccer or futsal, it's used for many sports. Okay. One of the things that it accomplishes is it builds, confidence through being challenged. Players who struggle with foot control will often feel overwhelmed. But training with tennis balls, now it sets the bar a little bit higher. So once players master the movement with a tennis ball, they experience a noticeable boost in confidence when they return to a regular futsal size ball or a soccer ball. Okay. So the next activity now is they're going back to dribbling, and they're incorporating now movement in their activity. So they're dribbling their ball, no restrictions. They can touch any with any part of their foot, but now they have to juggle the tennis ball. Okay, so they're juggling the tennis ball while they're dribbling. So now you're incorporating movement, touches on the ball, much smaller tennis ball, not as easy as a soccer ball or futsal ball, and reaction, coordination, eye to hand, juggling the ball. Not easy things to do. Not easy things to do. They're fun. They're challenging. The players are developing many different parts of their games.